Hey guys, welcome back to Battlefield, or more specifically, Battlefield 5. Today's video is partly going to be about welcoming back Battlefield community members and an introduction to new community members who may be visiting for the first time. I was a little reluctant to pick up the series because I was anticipating or hoping for a modern shooter, but nonetheless I did want to get back into playing, and World War II is completely fine with me. The game launches with 8 maps, all unexpected locations crucial in World War II, as the introduction from the dev team literature suggests. In other words, areas that the development team hasn't touched on before, as I was a huge fan of Wake Island, which didn't make it into the game. Players will find themselves in France, Holland, North Africa, and Norway. The game will start you off with an amazing cinematic trailer, which then launches you into the single player campaign mode, so this version will have a single player campaign mode. We'll also see the newest offering of Combined Arms, a game mode for up to 4 players. Grand Operations, the asymmetrical operation mode from Battlefield 1. Grand Operations will have up to 64 players. This mode simulates a series of days within the in-game time frame, which is about an hour in real time. Then we have Tides of War, which will be coming out a little later after release. Within these modes, players will recognize the standard Battlefield offerings of Conquest, Breakthrough, Frontlines, Domination, and Team Deathmatch. I'll leave a link down below if you guys want to read all the nuts and bolts on how each of the modes play, along with outlines of the anticipated Battle Royale mode, which seems to be introduced across many of the different FPS game offerings this year, and serves as a reminder of H1Z1 that I've been covering here on the channel in the last 3 years, the Daybreak Alpha Early Access offering of H1Z1 and Just Survive. If you're wondering about minimum requirements, I'm currently on an 8-year-old gaming rig that has an i7-960 3.2 GHz CPU, 12 gigs of RAM, and a GTX NVIDIA 1050 Ti non-powered pocket GPU. And I call it that because you can literally take the GPU along with you, say if you're visiting family or you're going out of town or whomever you're visiting, and just pop that into their PC, and it basically turns it into a nice little gaming rig if you want to play your games while you're visiting or you are out of town. For me personally, I've not experienced a lot of issues in the game, at least on my own. The only times I've really experienced any issues is when I've been grouped with my guildmates, believe it or not. That's the only time that I've experienced any kind of crash to desktops, hitching, lag, or other unusual issues, getting black screens, and or just completely the game locking up. Just when I'm grouped with guildmates. When I play by myself, it's completely fine. I'm not sure if that has something to do with the way the game is interpreting who you're grouped with, as far as like through origin or what all could be going on mechanically there. But nonetheless, so far, at least solo play, I've not had a whole lot of issues. But then I'm so accustomed to playing betas and alphas these last 4 years that these kind of seem almost like routine issues. But nonetheless, I would anticipate the dev team will address these when we see the launch on November the 20th for the official release. If you do go by the official forums, Reddit, or watch fellow YouTube creators, you will see that some of the concerns revolve around the Conquest ticket bleed, the interface of the game when you're switching between different characters and kits and gear and things that's not saving when you switch, along with the OP bomber, and just subtle issues that I think that will be addressed when we do see the official release. But nonetheless, these are just typical things that you can experience upon a new release, but I'm sure the team will address those in time. Game loads to maps can be slow, and exiting out of games can be really slow. Now, when I'm playing Conquest by myself and the game is loading us in teams, it seems to be a lot faster than when I'm with my guildmates and the game is trying to group us together. The other thing is navigating the menu system. As I mentioned earlier, trying to get around the menus to set up your characters, to get your skins going, to adjust your weapons, change out attachments on the weapons and things. It's just an excessive amount of clicking that we have to do. I'm hoping the team will perhaps streamline that as we move forward in the game. The way the in-game point system works can be a little confusing, so you're going to want to be very mindful of how you're using your points. Also, you may want to just kind of adjust yourself to presetting your character before a match so that when you are in the game and you're having to switch between classes and so forth, you'll already have a preset for them, because if you do them during the match, it appears to not save some of the changes or attachments that you may be making, so just be mindful of that. There is a decent selection of characters that you can choose from. Of course, you guys are probably familiar with all the controversy surrounding the game going back a couple months ago. That has been addressed. Currently, we are just playing the British and the Germans, and if you have been paying attention, you'll notice that some of the icons and symbols from the Germans, of course, have been removed from the game. I can't even mention them by word, or the video will probably get flagged. Some of the classes you can anticipate playing are Assault, Medic, Recon, and Support. All the classes will have the capability of building emplacements and stations within the game, so it's not limited to just one particular class. I've mostly been playing a Medic to kind of help out fellow players, as with any new launch, we'll oftentimes find ourselves dying as we get a feel for the game and learning the maps. The maps aren't necessarily the most notable in World War II history, but they are very lovely indeed. The graphics are stunning. The particle effects can be a little much at times, but it certainly adds to the immersion. There are some very cool mechanics in the way your character behaves. The team really put a lot of detail into some of the more notable aspects of how your character operates weapons, throws grenades, and they'll have interesting little personality quirks. I'll let you guys experience those for yourself, but I thought it was very cool and a nice touch on the part of the development team. I've not spent much time operating the vehicles or doing any flying. I've jumped in a tank to gun, or I've driven the occasional Jeep to a capture point, but I've not had a lot of experience with them as of yet. I'm glad we do have a decent array of vehicles, but I do miss flying a helicopter. Overall, I have to say I'm pretty happy with the purchase, as for the last 4 years I've been playing mostly alphas and betas. So this launch, although having its issues with bugs and such, feels almost natural to me, so I didn't really make it a point to delve into those right now. But nonetheless, this is the first week that I've been playing since the Deluxe Edition launch, which is, as of this recording, the Standard Edition will be launched on November the 20th. There is still a lot to the game that I've not delved into yet, but I did want to give you guys this introduction and overview, as well as let you know that I am back covering Battlefield. I've been really pleased and very pleasantly surprised despite the controversy that was surrounding the game a few months ago. The team has really come a long way, and we can probably anticipate more improvements in the coming weeks and months, especially with the launch on November the 20th. As someone who wasn't entirely sure whether I'd pick up the game or not, I'd have to say I'm glad I did. But certainly do your research, watch all the video offerings out there to learn more details, but I'm very happy that I bought it. And that's going to wrap up this reintroduction and overview. You can anticipate seeing more coverage of Battlefield 5 here on the channel. To ensure you're getting the latest uploads from the game, click on that channel icon you see appearing there on the screen to subscribe, along with clicking that notification bell so you guys will know the latest uploads are out and any additional information concerning Battlefield 5.